When you drive through Wallowa, the first town as you cross the county, no, this is rural Oregon. 800 people live in this town.
Wallowa. Wallowa, you learn that when you first come here.
Kathy Shoemaker is a newcomer, moved here from Lake Tahoe, bought the pizza/video store on Main Street.
Don't get too close. A slower lifestyle. Lake Tahoe, a lot of tourists, busy, busy, busy all the time.
Debbie Lind is also a newcomer. Oh, by the way, if you don't have a few generations connected to Wallowa County, you're a newcomer.
It's jeans and boots and, nothing real fancy. You don't have to have a tux.
Debbie works at the pharmacy.
We cannot buy underwear here. If you want underwear, you go to Deb's and Enterprise or Walmart an hour away.
There's a high school, the Main Street, some cool shops in town, but not a lot to make a tourist stop and stay. That can be a problem if you own a business.
We have a lot of traffic going from here through to Joseph, which is the touristy town. And can I say this? Yeah. No one here wants it to become a town, but we have so much traffic going through, we just need them to stop and patronize our businesses and buy a few things, and we're happy with that to keep going and keep our simple way of life.
Judy Taylor opened a tea shop. Great place, lots to offer. Getting folks to stop, easy.
We have the railroad here now, and they do the excursion trains. That's drawn a lot of people to here, but they go on the excursion trains and they leave to go and spend their money somewhere else because there's anything else here to do that.
The library, you already got the library?
This group of ladies is doing its best to sell the town to me, so I'll sell it to you. But how do you market simplicity?
When I first moved here, I needed a tomato. And so I walked downtown thinking I could get a tomato. But everything closed up at 7, so you want a tomato, you got to get it before 7.
And what do you do when others in town don't want change, don't want people, don't want tourists?
I would say it's maybe half and half.
You've got a problem.
They're afraid it's going to get too big and they're not going to enjoy being here anymore, and it's going to be overrun with too many people and they won't get to relax and fish in their favorite spot by themselves.
Trade-offs to progress? Is it? No one's quite sure, so they hold. Just down the road a bit is a place called Lostine. Not Lostein, but Lostine. Not a lot here.
You got one tavern, and you got one grocery store, and you got a post office. That's all we need.
Tell me your name and your nickname.
Lowell D. Armin, and my nickname is Shark.
So I got to ask you, why do they call you?
Okay, they call me Shark because back when I was logging, they pinned that name on me, and it stuck.
Shark, an unofficial town crier.
It's a tiny little town. We love it.
Don't forget the Blue Banana Espresso Shop. You can't miss it. You won't forget it. Coffee's darn good, too.
We love it here. This is just home.
M. Crow and Company is a constant in Lostine. It's been here 100 years. The same family started it. Yeah, that's them. Well, it's just a picture.
It's an easy existence, easy way of life. People are who they seem to be. There's no pretense.
That's Keith Bird. He's family. Marriage to the picture people. The store feels like it's an episode of Back to the Future.
98, 94. I think I'll just give you 100 if that's okay.
Political posters on the wall as if the race were still on. Empty seats around the store are filled in the morning. Guys talking about stuff. Don't need a guy like me in these parts. Everybody's a reporter here.
Anybody that employs 20 or 30 people is a major employer around here.
Locals can go 30 days without a nickel on them. Don't need it. The store doesn't take Visa, MasterCard, or debit, whatever that is. It's credit the old-fashioned way, on a ledger card.
They're beginning to put in the services real soon here. There's a 10-acre subdivision that's going to have 10 5-acre parcels to it. And if we're going to have a boom, this is probably the big one.
Bringing city folk in, not a popular arrangement in these parts.
Growth? It's a big, scary word.
Well, they try to bring their city ways with, and then they try to tell us how to live and what to do. Don't like it.
In a place where a 14-year-old can still ride her horse through town and doesn't need a plastic bag to pick up the mess after the horse, city ways are a threatening position.
All they see is asphalt. They don't know crap from wild honey, and they're just city folks. Can't say I'm crazy about them.
Self-service goes out the door when too many people come to town. Lostine likes things just the way they are. A place where tractors parked on Main Street won't attract a look. Lostine.
It's such a kind of a unique area that people just have to come see, but it's not on the way to anywhere. You can't get anywhere else from here without, diving off in a canyon somewhere. And I've joked about it for a long time that the pavement kind of does stop here.
But not quite. We've got a couple of miles to go after the break. If every county needs a biggest town, in northeastern Oregon, this is it. Enterprise. Not only is it the largest town in Wallowa County, it's the place with the most history, and people are trying to save every bit of it.
Enterprise is a wonderfully intact historic town.
In the late 1800s,
Enterprise at that point was nothing but a plat map.
developers convinced those plotting the map to give them some land and create what is today Enterprise. Jack McLaren's watched builders cut the quarried Bulby stone to construct the centerpiece of town, the county courthouse.
The real strong voice in Enterprise is they want to protect what they have in an authentic way.
The old buildings, many made of the same stone, line the streets today. Enterprise is consistent. 2,002 people live here.
That population of 2002 has stayed consistent, relatively consistent, since the 1920s.
When you move to Enterprise, bring the job with you.
People want to come to Wallowa County, but there's nothing to do. There's no industry. Art, government, farming, ranching, that's pretty much it.
Folks in this part of the state are feeling pressure to grow. As Central Oregon gets more crowded, explorers venture northeast to find this place. People here are afraid of growth, though, aren't they?
I think so.
You don't want to become Ben.
No. At the same time, we're also concerned about our economic future.
So they plan carefully, resisting the temptation to recreate.
Protecting what we have, not trying to become something we're not.
Earl McLaughlin understands the balance between preservation and recreation. He lives a few miles outside of Enterprise.
This is my workshop, my area where I do the restorations.
When weather permits, Earl farms cereal grain.
From basically the 1st of November till the 1st of April, there's not much going on the farm with no livestock.
To fill his time, in 1983 he bought his first tractor.
I just have an intense desire to collect some of the old farm implements and try to preserve some of our heritage.
33 tractors later.
Well, I've probably got 3 or 4 buildings that are pretty full of stuff,
His obsession includes more than tractors.
Well, it's part of our heritage, It's part of the foundations of this country, the agri industry.
His tractor restorations are impeccable. But for some of his collection, authenticity requires a fair amount of rust and moss.
It took 130 years for it to get on there, and in a couple days you could take it off. And it just makes the stuff look natural.
Farmers are his detectives. They hear about an old piece of equipment and give him a call. Sometimes Wallowa County seems so close.
Okay, now this shows you what a small world we live in. I'm in Enterprise, Oregon, in the northeast of Oregon, talking to a farmer I've never met before. He tells me he bought this tractor right here from my neighbor in Camp Creek in Springfield from Bobby Fisher.
There's something about Earl and those trying to preserve the history of Enterprise, Oregon that truly matters. Sometimes we think we have to save the world to make an impact, but you don't. You find the thing that makes you come alive and you do it. Whether it's saving a tractor or an old building in Enterprise, history will repeat itself. Wouldn't it be nice if it had an old friend to return home to? We'll be right back.